Hi everybody and welcome to Moonshine and Music, the perfect music show. I'm your host Joe Shelton. We have a great show for you today with Meghan Cristeen Martin stopping by for an interview and a performance. But before we check in with her, I want to talk a little bit about our show and what you can expect from us in the coming weeks. We're trying to get in touch with working musicians, entertainers, and songwriters and other performers to see what they're really about, to get in touch with those great souls that they are, and to find out how they come up with what they come up with in terms of all the great entertaining songs and content that they provide to everybody. And so this show is created as a means for us to do just that. So you get more to know about these people, who they are, and how they get in touch with you guys, the fans. So we really appreciate you stopping by. If you have some things about us that you don't like or that you do like, we realize even though we call ourselves the perfect music show, that we are very imperfect. So please let us know about that in the comments. We'll try to make it better. Or if you really love something, tell us that and we'll keep doing it. And hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss anything. And if you hit the notifications, then it'll notify you each time we put a new thing out. You can look forward to that each week. So our big guest this week is Meghan Cristeen Martin. She has a brand new record. It's a self-titled EP. She's going to talk about that. She's going to talk about how she grew up and how she started writing songs and some very interesting insights into her, as well as a wonderful performance that I know you can't wait to hear. So just sit back, relax, and get ready, because here it comes, Moonshine and Music right now. All right, we're here with Meghan Cristeen Martin. This is Moonshine and Music. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
As I've told others, the show, what we're trying to accomplish is to get to know the artists better, and not, and also have some performance, but
Sure.
to get to know the artists better. So I like to start off with, where did you grow up?
Where did I grow up? Mostly, I was born here in Indy. But I lived in Ringgold, Georgia for a good chunk of my life. And then I lived in Florida, in Southwest Florida. And so my parents divorced when I was 3, so I lived down south for the majority of my life. And I would visit here in Indy through summers and Christmases. So, yeah.
I see. Mm-hmm. So when you went to school down in Florida?
I did. I grew up in Cape Coral, Florida, and went to high school, and then I went to college for a little bit, and then I decided I didn't want to do it anymore. And when I was 21, I moved back to Indianapolis to live with my dad for a while. And so that was 2014. And then I kind of dipped into the music scene because I did play ukulele a little bit and wasn't performing just yet. And then I met several musicians like Chris Banta from Brother Oh Brother when they were hitting it pretty big in the scene. Jeff Kelly I kind of knew. And then I knew the guys at the Grove House. And the Grove House was in the hi-fi. I was going there a lot because it was cheap to go. It was like $5 to get into most places, and now it's like you got these really cool bands coming in to town now, and it's like $20, $30, and so yeah, I was 21 and I was having a good time, and then I started performing more outside of Indy and just kind of made myself known, so to speak. Yeah.
So, did you study music or anything when you were?
No. So my dad is a musician as well.
Right.
And he was in a band called Syndicato, and they were really popular for a good decade, a little over that. And they still do reunion shows. They had one last year at the Jazz Kitchen. So everyone knew me as John Martin's daughter. for a long time. So anywhere I went, oh yeah, that's John's daughter. Yep, looks just like him. And so that was sort of another way in. And I've always been around music, summers and Christmases. Like if Dad had a show, we'd go. My brother and I would go see his show, and as long as it was 21 and under. So.
So you have a brother, or
I have 3 actually.
3 brothers.
Yeah. So I've got one that's still in Florida, or 2 that are in Florida, and then one that has a different dad, and he's I'll have one that's a different dad, one that's a different mom.
An American family.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So do you get to see those guys a lot, or?
My youngest brother, who is 13, he's here in Indy. He's getting ready to go into high school, which blows my mind. And then Eric was here in January, but yeah, he's down. He lives with his girlfriend, and is working. And
are any of the others into music, or is it
not as much as me? No,
not as much as you.
No. So like the bond that I share with my dad, which is pretty cool, is music. And being separate from him, growing up, it sucked, but we always had music. And long trips so Dad would go from Indy to Georgia to meet my mom halfway, or wherever we were, to drop us off, and he would make these mixtapes. And so we had like Roger Miller, we had Patsy Cline, all the old vintage country music is what I, seemed to be focused on. And Eric was into it too, but I think I attached to it more so. And that was what I had, that connection with him. And it's always been in my life. And I played music in high school, but I was in marching band. So I played
drastically different from Roger Miller.
Yes. But, I always, growing up, like my friends were into, Nickelback and Evanescence was a thing. And then I was into metal for a little bit. Disturbed was another one. But yeah, I just always had that connection, and I would always go back to, like the poetic Roger Miller. Like I loved the way he wrote his music and the songs that he did, and I would watch videos on YouTube of like old interviews with Johnny Cash too, and when Johnny Cash had his show, and then he and Roger did like episodes together. Like I loved the old vintage stuff.
So you like watch Hee Haw, like those things that like I've seen some of those out on
I don't know
YouTube.
if I've seen that, but it's mostly like I was really stuck on like the personality of like the interviews and what they were like, what their persona was and their behavior, and what they were into, what they were writing about. And I don't know, it just always stuck with me. And it's easy, country music is 3 chords and the truth, it's very easy.
That's what they say. So you need easy? Is it complicated?
Simplicity, I guess I should say.
Right.
Yeah. I like the simplicity of it all. And a lot of it's heartfelt and genuine and real. And, that's what it comes down to is the genuine part of it.
So I take it that's how you kind of felt like you wanted to start writing songs, was that you...
I always wrote poems, and I always had a journal growing up. You always have that diary. Most girls did, I think. At least I like to think so. But, when I was a sophomore in high school, I had written a poem, and it was, I was never very good in school. My grades were horrible, but I loved poetry. And so I had, the teacher had said, here, pick a poem, write a poem, turn it in, and I'll share one of them later that I love. And it happened to be one of mine. And I remember her, like, staring at me while she read it. And they would put it on, like, the screen for everyone to see, but they would block out your name. And it happened to be mine, and she stared at me the whole time, like something was wrong with me, because it happened to be, like, a very dark poem. But she never said anything to me about it after. Like, I don't know. It's just, yeah. So I've always loved poetry, and, I didn't think I was very good at it, but turns out I am. But that turned into songwriting, and I got into the Ukulele World Congress, which is held in Brown County, Indiana. And my stepmom at the time introduced me to Congress. And what it is it's a big party. And my friend Mike Hader started it. This is the 10th year. It'll be the 10th year in June. And I went in 2014 after I moved up here, full time. And I had a ukulele that my dad had given me, but I didn't think I was a good performer. I didn't think I was talented. And somebody that I didn't know, his name's Paul, he was like, why don't you do the open mic this weekend? I was like, wait, there's an open mic? So it's held the first weekend in June. There's 2 open mics, one on Friday night, one on Saturday night. And it's free. People camp, they drink, they have a good time, and it's just a very positive, almost spiritual experience.
And the requirement is that you play ukulele.
Exactly. You don't have to be good about it, You don't have to be a performer. You can go up, you can do 1 song. You get only 2 songs. And so I signed up, didn't really want to, but I played a Jason Mraz tune. And someone had asked me,
what's Jason Mraz tune?
It's not I'm Yours. See, I am a big Jason Mraz fan too. So not just Roger Miller and the old vintage stuff. I loved Jason Mraz because I remember seeing him on TV when I was 10, and I was just like, I love what he does. And I don't even remember which song it was, but it was just one of those songs that they usually skip it on the album and they forget that it is something that he has done. So it was very obscure, and I went up and I did it. And, afterwards I had this flock of people tell me how great of a performance it was, even though I was shaking and I was sitting and I had a music stand in front of me, and it was like, I am never going to do this again. But all these people just kept saying, through the rest of the weekend, that was Friday, so the rest of the weekend, everyone was just like, you are so talented. You are so good. And I was like, wow, well, okay. And then, I didn't think I would ever do it again. And then September of that year, we had a group of women from Congress. We had my friend Mandy from Dayton. We had my friend Erica, who now lives in California. My friend, Mim, who owns a uke shop in Virginia. Just a few select people put a show together in Metamora, Indiana, at the Cat and the Fiddle.
Mm-hmm. I've heard of the place.
Yeah, it's a very cool little venue there. She serves Kat makes her own food, and she serves that for a small fee. And there was 5 of us on this tiny little dinky stage, and I did a cover song again with a notebook in front of me and played it and sang that. And that was one of my first gigs, technically, because I got paid for it. You're professional when you get paid, Yeah. After, that, it was just gradual performances here and there. And now it's beginning to be more consistent. And now that I've released an EP, it's getting to be very consistent, which is a beautiful thing. And I feel lucky and honored to be doing it.
What's the name of the EP?
So the EP is a self-titled Meghan Cristeen Martin EP. It's 7 tracks and all written by myself. Songs that I've written probably since I moved up here. So in the matter of now 4 years, just things that I've grown up with, things that I've experienced. It's all personal, because that's really the best way to write is what you know. Yeah.
Well, I can agree with that. I find that the songwriters that I identify with the most, mm-hmm. and the songs that I identify with most, are ones that that I can really connect with lyrically, but then musically as well. Mm-hmm. And the first time that I listened to your record, I was like, we have to get her on the show, because it's not only the the great performance and all that, but it's totally in in my lane, so to speak,
Gotcha.
because I'm a country guy, and I was, it's just a job well done, and I want everybody to go and listen to the EP. Is it on just Bandcamp?
It's just on Bandcamp right now. I'm in the process of ordering physical copies because my grandmother really wants a copy. There's a handful of people that are like, we need
grandmothers
the CD.
have to have the CD.
We have to have the CD. It's like, okay. So, I got to finish turning the designs and get that ordered, and I'll have them soon.
Are you planning to expand it out onto the digital services like iTunes and?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I know that you were working with Fourth Sunday.
Yep.
Is that correct? On another project. What's going on there?
So the EP is just me on vocals playing a ukulele live. That's how we recorded it. We recorded it in my apartment with a guy named Andrew Greenberg, who I met through my friend Mary Rimbush. Very nice guy. He is in a band called The Rooms, I believe. I've heard them play at the Melody Inn a few times. So we recorded that in 5 hours, and that was it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it sounds like that? Like, it sounds really, really pro.
Yeah. I think it's because as a musician, you tend to hit roadblocks. I mean, in general, you hit roadblocks, and I hit a ton, it seemed like. And at the time, I was frustrated, and I was like, let's just get these recorded now. And I knew them, and I knew people wanted something, because they were practically begging me. Like, at gigs, I went to Ohio, and a friend of mine was like, why don't you have anything out? And I was like, I'm working on it. I promise. It's coming. So yeah, Andrew came over and we did it in 5 hours. Maintenance interrupted one track. That was fun. But and then knocked on my door, and it was a really good take too, I promise. But
you should have brought him in for some background vocals.
Yeah, I know, right?
Hey, can you sing harmonies, like low harmonies? Because
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, we did that, and then it was like the next week, Craig sent me a message.
Which is Craig Helmreich, founded Fourth Sunday Music.
Yep. He was like, or it happened to be after a performance that I did in December, the Songwriter Showcase at the Irving Theater.
Okay.
Cole Woodruff, our friend Cole, had taken just a tidbit of a video of one of my songs, Give Me Time, which is on the EP. And Craig had heard it. He's like, I love what you do. I want you to be a part of what I'm about to announce. Here's the lowdown. What do you think? I was like, yes, please. I definitely, I would love to record at Postal Recordings. Like, it's a very awesome recording studio, and the guys there are great. Tyler and Alex did a phenomenal job mixing, and yeah.
So is this a full band arrangement?
Yeah, well, I'm very good at not planning things. I have ideas. It's the follow through that I struggle with. But I had the idea of Dobro. And again, going back to, the bond that I have with my dad musically, he's more like my best friend than my dad. We both think the same way musically and logically and just mentally in general. So I told him, I was like, what do you think of, laying down some Dobro on some of the tracks that we do at Postal? And he's like, yeah, whenever, call me. And then I was like, okay, can you, this was a month and a half before the studio time. And I was like, can you get Ryan Shore to play drums or cajon? And he happens to work with Ryan at his job, his daytime job. And he's like, yeah, but he has kids, so we may not be able to get him in. And I was like, well, we can try. I was like, I don't think I need a bass player, but I think within a couple weeks before the studio, I was like, okay, I think I have a plan now. And we got in, and so I had Ryan on cajon, and then I had my dad on dobro for some, and then we had Kels from Von Strauss play cello. And that was not my idea. That was actually Craig's idea. And I was like, you know what? That would be actually pretty brilliant. So yeah, if we can do that, And I think that's, you know, and then Cole on one song because we had arranged a song together. Yeah, and it turned out really, really great.
Okay, so
Yeah.
when's that going to be
So
out
we're
there?
shooting for the end of summer. I don't have an exact plan set yet, but we're still talking about it. So I can't really tell you anything yet.
But something toward the end of the summer.
Yes, that's the goal. That's the goal. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and it's
Well, I'm now itching to hear you play, so we're going to take a short break, and we'll come back, and Megan's going to play some songs for us.
awesome.
Thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you.
Be sure and join us next week on Moonshine and Music when Chris Wilson stops by the studio, gives us a few insights into his life and career in music, and plays some brand new songs that are coming soon on his new EP.
He will be where I land.
So be sure and tune in every Sunday for Moonshine and Music.
Okay. I think I'm ready. Whenever? Yep. All right. Give me time to scream out loud. I need time to feel how I feel, 'cause it's not right to keep it all in. I need time alone. Well, I've been stepping on the very tip of my toes and biting my tongue for far too long. It's about time I say how I mean. I don't know is not an answer, but that's how it goes. So give me time to scream out loud. I need time to feel how I feel, 'cause it's not right to keep it all in. I need time alone. Well, I reserve the right to be sad sometimes. I can be angry the first thing in the morning. The sun will shine and I will burn with frustration for no reason. So give me time to scream out loud. I need time to feel how I feel, 'cause it's not right to keep it all in. I need time alone. Together we are happy, but you don't know what is going on in my head. You smile at me and I refuse to see the light that shines in your eyes. Just give me time to scream out loud. I need time to feel how I feel, 'cause it's not right to keep it all in. I need time alone.
Well worth the wait. Well worth the wait.
Thank you. Is that it?
No, you
No, I'll keep going. How many? I thought it was just the one.
can do 3.
Oh, well, I didn't know that. All right.
I think we had talked online about Chloe Smith.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll do that one. I messed with that one too since we talked about it, but let's hope I get the words right. But
Yeah, it's fine. He didn't know all the
drink 'em, baby, stay up all night. Things you could do, you won't, but you might. The potential you'll be, you'll never see. Promises you only make. Drink up with me now and forget all about pleasure of days. Do what I say, and I'll make you okay and drive them away. Images stuck in your head. People you've been before, you don't want around anymore. They push, shove, they won't bend to your will. I'll keep them still. Drink 'em, baby, look at the stars, and I'll kiss you again between the bars, where I'm seeing you there with your hands in the air, waiting to finally be caught. Drink up one more time, and I'll make you mine and keep you apart deep in my heart. Separate from the rest, where I like you the best and keep the things you forgot. People you've been before, you don't want around anymore. They push, shove, they won't bend to your will. I'll keep them still. Something like that. This is Never Noticed. I think I'll do that one.
Never noticed works for me.
All right. I used to hide in the corners of the house, listening into conversations that never made sense. You were always so involved with all the others. They were evil and left you tense and
See what I mean? Amazing, right? She has an incredible voice. We love that Meghan Cristeen Martin. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Do not forget to do that so you'll get to see our next episode. We'll show you a teaser each week about who's coming up that week, so you get to see a little bitty snippet of them ahead of time. But hit the notifications so you get notified whenever we're going to put up a new episode. I really appreciate you joining us today. If you want to see me perform live, April 5th at the Burnside Inn in Indianapolis, you can find me there. And that's my next show. And I'll see you here next week on Moonshine and Music. Moonshine and Music is a production of Eat New Media in association with Notlehs Entertainment. All rights reserved. Copyright 2018. Our producers for today's show were Brandon Lay and Joe Shelton. Thank you for listening to Moonshine and Music.